This is the award-winning car talk show in real time, your weekly go-to all things automotive place, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, and Jeff Zekin, and David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us today. If you didn't hear the car review, we're sorry about that. Don't know what happened, but it apparently was an issue. And
It'll be up on the podcast.
Okay, you say so. But at any rate, we're glad that you could join us today. We're coming to you live from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruisein, our once-a-month event out here at the Lupe Tortilla in Katy, Texas, at the Grand Parkway on Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Things are kind of wrapping up out here because everything comes to a conclusion at 11 o'clock. Some people are leaving now, but at any rate, mark your calendar for next month. That's going to be on February the 20th will be our next Lupe Tortilla Tailpipes and Tacos Cruisein. We hope that you'll join us. If you can't be here live and in living color with us, then we hope that you'll be able to tune in and enjoy the show. The one nice thing that we enjoy coming out here for is to talk to the participants out here, because everybody's got their own story, their own car, and it's good to hear how things came to the fruition where they brought their car out here, whether they bought a brand new one, it's got 2,000 miles on it, or they bought one from the 1930s.
And built with their dad.
Yeah, what a great story that was.
That was cool.
Yeah. So at any rate, all right, Mr. Mars, who we got?
You know, I still remember the first time I drove one of the Hellcats. I was out in Portland at a drag strip road course, and I interviewed Tim Kniskus. Now, he's a real hot rodder. He was in charge of the SRT brand. He was bringing all that out. He had a 71 Dodge Challenger 440 that he was restoring. So he was a muscle car guy. And I asked him, I said, well, you know, you've got all this stuff, but, I mean, it doesn't have the gearing. It's got a 2-something gear in it and this and that. And I was, you know, if you're going this far with 707 horses at the time, you know, why don't you just really make this a killer? He told me to go drive it, and then I would understand. And I've always thought, you know, what happened, though, if you decided to modify a Hellcat? What would you do? Well, to answer that question today, Mr. Chuck Mandic is with us. He happens to be driving that white Hellcat sitting right out there. And if you'll look in the trunk of it, there's a bottle of nitrous.
Oh. Not only supercharged, but you're going to spray a little bit, huh?
Keep the inside cool.
Well, you just spray it to cool down the intercooler, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So I mean, looking at the car, you've done some stuff to it.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of walk us through some of the things you've done.
Okay. What I've done to it, I basically took it out to Bomberas, and Kenny Bombera.
Yep.
I've known for years, has built different cars for me also, and brought it out there after I bought it. I handed him the keys. He just looked at me and I said, "Call me when it's done." He's okay. But we went through it and we did quite a few modifications to it. We changed pulleys on it, injectors, of course, different plugs. We put a solid drive shaft in it, headers, cabbacks, cutouts on the headers so we can run straight pipe out of it on the strip when his son's been basically drag racing it for me. And also we changed out the axles, puts different axles in it because he says
because you're boosting the power. You don't want to find the axles.
Find the weak point.
Yeah, so each time we modify it, we do find the next weak spot. And we just finished modifying everything on it. We haven't run it yet. And their last dyno without nitrous came to 1,200 horse at the wheels.
Oh, my gosh.
With 985
at
torque.
The wheels.
Yeah, with 985 torque. Almost as much as a red eye, you know, but not quite.
He's not listening.
Yeah, he's no comment.
Right.
He's working.
Sorry.
He was picking on you.
It's okay.
He's got 1,200 horsepower at the wheels with his modified Hellcat.
But they've done a lot of really cool work with it. And
well, we've had Bomberas on the show.
Yeah.
Kind of friends of the show, and they do some wonderful work out there, even though they moved way out there now.
That's not too bad.
Yeah,
Once
but
they
I
have the
think
highway
it's a good
done, it'll be
move.
good.
Yeah, it's out there off the interstate. It's
Right.
easy to see them. It's easy to find them. I like them being out there.
Yeah, and stuff. So that way you can test the modifications on the way back
That's
into
true.
Katy. See?
Immediate feedback.
Right. You can call them up from a phone and say, "Hey, it broke. Get the wrecker," or "I made it in record time."
I made it to the next exit.
Yeah. But no, they've done wonderful work, and they built, like I say, 3 different cars for me, and He's actually done work on my '74 Challenger, and
Okay.
Kenny's just great with carburation and that, and so we did that. But
And there's very few people left that can.
You're exactly
Because
right.
carburation, tuning carburetors is a thing that a lot of people don't understand how to do, and there's a fewer and fewer number of people out there that can do it effectively.
No, you're exactly right. And we did some different tunes on them, and they've tried some different things, and they were hired in 1200, but they backed it off because we didn't want to blow it up and stuff. So
there is a little bit of a limit.
yeah. But they've done some tremendous work for me, and the car's a lot of fun. Our fastest time before we did these last modifications was 10.5 seconds at 132. And like I said, his son Boyd's been driving it.
And so you've got a 6-point cage in it.
Yeah.
So they kicked you off the track at 10.5.
I don't recall it this time. I can't confirm or deny that was done.
I think there's an NHRA rule about that at an NHRA track.
So when you do take it to the track, you change the tires, you run slicks on it?
Yes. We got some drag slicks for it, and we will change those. But it's basically, it can be a daily driver, so it's set up pretty well for what you would call it. And it's a 6-speed manual transmission. It's not automatic.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we just put a 2-step system in the 2-step box, so we just keep the pedal mounted, and you just work the clutch. And if you ever seen those work, they shut down cylinders and then simultaneously just immediately light everything back up. It sounds like it's backfiring. Well, it is, but it works pretty well.
So it'll pull the front wheels off the ground?
Hasn't yet. I think it's still, because I haven't lightened the car up at all. We still have all the weight in that in it. I don't know if it would or not, because it doesn't hook up real well sometimes. It just has a tendency to turn them.
Well,
at
that's what I was
95
That's the
wondering.
next thing to tune up,
Is
right?
does he use the launch control
Yeah.
when he's running it?
I don't know if he has or not.
I'm
can't
just
answer
curious.
honestly,
I mean, if
but-
he's real good, he may not use it because
No,
he
I
can-
don't.
he
I
can-
don't believe Boyd has. We're just gone with clutch and stuff. We put a racing clutch in it. Change
of
that.
course, yeah.
It's on its second one now.
I don't know if you have a launch control in a
Yeah, there
manual
is.
gearbox, is it?
Yeah. So, but everything else is stock on it. Well, with the transmission, just the gears and the rear end. I haven't changed any of that. But other than we short shifted the transmission instead of like rowing a boat, it's a lot quicker, and that made a big difference.
Whose shifter did you put in?
I don't remember which one they did, because a lot of times I'll just take them out to, and Kenny knows what I like, and he goes, yeah, we put top
He
end
knows
stuff
what
in
works
there.
well
Right.
with stuff, putting it together.
And they did a lot of trial and error with this Hellcat, because they had several that they built now, and so we were tweaking things as we're going along.
And each one they build, they learn something new and
Correct.
adapt it to the next car and learn something new on that one.
Yeah.
And some people bring their previous modded cars back, like you have, and get those changes made
Yeah.
to yours as well.
Then we just put show spray for the nitrous on it, and we found the sprays that light up, so it sprays 2 red lights out the hood. It's the show purge. It's kind of cool, so we put that on it, and we've just had a lot of fun with it. And it was funny. I was on I-10, and I've never run nitrous on the streets. And I thought one night I was sitting home bored, and I'm like, just go out and see what's going on. So we're heading out towards Sealy, and this guy in a Lambo pulls up. I got to tell you a story real quick, and he keeps revving it and down off, and my radar detector was lit up, and I'm like, So it gave me a chance to get down into second gear, and with that 2-step box in it, and I had the nitrous on, it gave a chance to get everything spooled up, and I looked at him. We went, and he took off. I mean, we were running neck and neck, but I went second to third, and it just broke it loose. So it's just this, and I got going straight, and I kicked his beep, beep, beep. And the funny thing was, I finally got into fourth. I was about a 135, and I shut it down, but I was ahead of him. And he flew by me. He's flipping me off. He
That was in
real happy.
Mexico.
Right?
Yeah.
Just out of Mexico City, yeah. And so I tried to get him to pull over to, just talk with him, but he wasn't happy. I wanted to, ask him how it felt
With
to
his
spend
$250,000
car. Got your rear end kicked by American Muscle. But it was fun.
That's okay. One of these days you'll pull up next to one of those underground racing Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
And get a surprise. Well, you might get a surprise because, those are 1,400 horsepower on the street.
And they're designed for track and long distance,
yeah.
not from A to B like my car's set up. It's apples and oranges. But it's a lot of fun to drive, and it's
Well, the fact
beautiful.
that you can drive it, to me, makes a big difference.
Yeah.
That you can,
that it's that streetable with 1,200 horsepower.
It is. Is street legal? Mm-hmm. When's the last time you saw the police following a dyno machine around with them?
They don't care about that.
Well, so is this your first time out to Tailpipes and Tacos?
No, I come out here almost every one they do.
Okay.
We've been out here several
And
times.
this is
It's a
the
lot of
first
fun.
time you sat with us to talk
Yes,
about
sir.
your toys.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Well,
you
that's the
very
first
much.
time I've noticed that when you've had
Well,
it out
he's
here
been
before.
begging to
Yeah.
get on.
I know. Well,
Hey, you paid me $50 to do this. I'm
really? They
Oh,
paid
that's
you more than they paid me.
and 6 months of free food here at Lupe Tortillas. That was nice of you.
Thank you very much. Well, we got connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, no doubt.
But they're a lot of fun.
What
Cars are fun.
what car out here impresses you the most?
That you've seen
today
today?
at today's show?
I think that white Hellcat, man, they just I'm telling
Well,
you.
in addition to that,
I like some of these older ones out here in the, the 20, 30 range and some of these older cars like that. I think they're just beautiful for what some of these guys have done to them and
Oh, yeah.
refurbished them and stuff. Those are some icon muscle cars. Some of the older Camaros and the new Vets are very
See,
nice.
There's a 69 blue drop top
Yeah.
sitting there. I didn't know if Don had even seen it yet.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
even see him come in.
RS
But that's-
SS 396.
That is a pretty
convertible.
car.
But it's really good. Look at the old Toyota over there.
Oh, yeah,
That's
the
all
FJ.
redone. You see things like that you'd very rarely see.
And it's kind of cool to come to an event like this and seeing that wide range of
yeah,
early hot rods to
brand new cars.
brand new hot rods.
I actually saw some kids here today. Kids meaning, 18 to, 16 to 35 kids.
Well,
Yeah.
David's son would have enjoyed it, but is he working today? So Ryan's got a job because David won't pay for all of the toys he's buying for his G35 or G37, 35.
But it's fun. A lot of these car meets that we go to, the car club I'm in and stuff. It's
What car club are you in?
West Houston Muscle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of us are friends. I've met a lot of great people through there, and everybody respects each other. Whether
Sure.
your car is still half rusted out and you're working on it, and you find a lot of ideas and talk to a lot of
Yeah.
people, avenues to refurbish things. And
Have you had people come up to you and say, listen, I know it's a little rusty, and I know that the engine may be a little bit tired. Would you mind coming on over and helping me this weekend?
I've had that.
Have you?
people,
Did
yeah.
you do it?
Oh, I've gone over and we'll help people help each other out in our car clubs and stuff. Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep you honest here, you understand?
Yep,
Sean does
absolutely. See the halo?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Sean does a nice job with West Houston Muscle.
He does.
Good organization. There's lots of events for them to go
Yeah.
to, and they put on a couple of big events every year. I know the one at Skeeter's, the Skeeter's baseball
Stadium.
baseball stadium kind of got sidetracked last year because of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
But
of
they'll
stuff
all come
did,
back
but they'll
this year.
come back. Yeah.
Yeah, COVID wrecked a lot of things. I mean, they haven't had my car to the track now in well over a year since we finished everything, so it'll be interesting to see what we do get out of it. I know what I'd like to get. Just depends.
So when you take it to the track, are you taking it to Baytown? Or are you taking it to Sealy?
Sealy's closed. They haven't had it open for a long time, and
Okay.
I've heard they're not going to. But Kenny will take it. Milber's, he'll take it out to Baytown, and they'll run it.
Well, I think we were just shared that Baytown is the end is in sight there as well. At the end of what was Stan saying?
22.
The end of the 22 season.
Oh wow.
That
Yeah.
kind of a sad thing, but
Yeah.
oh well.
Just to have a lot more these.
the
idiots
land
on
the
the
land
streets.
is worth more than
Yeah.
than
Well, of course, I think that one thing that many people miss is the fact that most, not all, most of the, especially the NHRA sanctioned tracks, they were built back in the 50s, 60s, some 70s. But how long ago was that in reality? They were
Yeah.
built, and they were on not only the outskirts of town, but they were built out of town.
Out.
Yeah.
And one of the
middle of nowhere.
examples of that
Yeah.
is the Atlanta Dragway. That's actually in Commerce, Georgia, similar to the Baytown track here in Houston. And that actually, that area over there has turned into a huge commercial area now.
Right.
When that track was built, there was no 99. There were plans for 99, but they put the racetrack out there. There was nothing out there.
It was early on. It was tough to get in and out of.
Absolutely.
You'd sit on 146 for an hour trying to get into the track, and
Wow.
and it was
And it wasn't an NHRA track, but Porter's where we really got started after Golden Triangle over there around Beaumont shut down. That's where we went, but it's the same thing. The housing addition just
I
took it over.
I built my drag strip way out in the middle of nowhere. And now all these housing divisions have moved in towards where the track is, and they call in and complain about how loud I am. Hey, I was here 10 years, 20 years before you.
But the property, it was bought cheap.
Right.
They made their money off of it. Everybody had a good time.
They built the highway out to it, which really improved the accessibility to it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and that's part of the reason that the track in Baytown has kind of, seen its day, because 99 now goes through there, and they're about to finish 99. Well, the price of that property has gone up tremendously.
And look at all the construction that's going on around it.
And the same thing with Atlanta Dragway in Commerce, Georgia, which they just announced this week, is done, toast. They've actually pulled it off of this year's schedule.
And it's not uncommon for that to happen. You can go all the way back to Riverside in California, the old NASCAR road race track. That's been gone 25, 30 years.
Right. And the other one is Maple Grove Raceway. They've said we can't do the NHRA event. We'll keep the track open, but if you go there, you ever been there?
No,
it's in
never
the middle
been.
of a neighborhood. In the
Really?
middle of a neighborhood.
Wow.
It's not even on the edge of town. It's in a neighborhood.
So the nitrous cars rattle the dishes in somebody's
And
house.
not only that, but
Little noise.
those original old
Or
tracks,
nitro
remember the
cars,
top
excuse me.
speed back then was not even 200 miles an hour. So
Yeah.
those old tracks, there's no run out
They're shut down
especially
areas.
at 300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And so if something goes wrong at the end of the quarter mile, you're screwed or dead.
Yeah, you're in
Yeah.
somebody's breakfast room.
So
That's
there are a
bad.
lot of things going on when it comes to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The deal is now, I think that Ennis is safe for our lifetime, but it'll be gone too.
Well, like we said earlier, Texas World Speedway, they're close to College Station.
The
Same thing.
Texas
It's
World
just gone.
Speedway has always been problematic since the day that place opened, and they made a mistake by thinking that, we're going to put it between Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin.
Right.
Well, now you've got it so far out in the middle of nowhere. You got an airport that can't even take a 737 to land on. You have to drive there to get there.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of nowhere, and that pretty much doomed it. It was a great track.
Yeah, drivers and
mile
people,
and a half track.
racers loved it
Yeah.
because of the changes in elevation and everything. But it just, and they're building houses there now.
Yeah. So, it's just a sign of the times. I think that, as Stan mentioned earlier, that I think that all of this is going to evolve into something that we don't really have a clear vision of today. Maybe somebody does. But I think that it's going to be one of those deals where you're going to have either an eighth mile or a quarter mile drag strip. You're going to have a road course, and you're going to have a circle track. And it's going to take them all in together. And each one of those entities will probably somehow be included in another, if not two or
and
three.
Sonoma is that, because Sonoma is
Right.
a pretty big road course with a drag strip right down the.
But
center
if you've been to Sonoma, it's in a part of the wine country out there that there's a lot of wineries around there, but you're not going to find big housing projects going on.
Right. The growth's not going to push it out. But to me, and something coming back around to his Challenger here, his Hellcat Challenger, he's got a car here. It's streetable. He can take it out on a road course. He can obviously take it to the drag strip. And so whichever way it evolves, unless we get forced into this all-electric stuff, then, to me, a car like that's going to be multi-purpose. You're going to still be able to use it.
I think that there will be an electric contingency.
There will.
For any kind of a viable sanctioning body like an NHRA, or it doesn't make any
there's
difference.
that, was it Electric Drag Racing Association?
Yeah, there's that. But
They're kind of partnered with NHRA.
Yeah, but it's not going to be that. It's going to be part of NHRA.
Oh, yeah. It'll have to be
yeah,
to survive. That's the reason this one hasn't gone off real big.
right.
But your Hellcat's going to be collectible.
Yeah.
Well,
But I
into
think,
the future.
but you know what? I think more than that, it's about his satisfaction with his ride.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that when it all comes down to it, that's what it's really all about. What turns you on as a car owner? You know, I like a white Hellcat Challenger, and I like to have it have more horsepower than your Hellcat Challenger. Screw you, Conrad.
So like those red
let me
eyes,
go out here
the
and I'm
Barbie
going to
car.
spank your butt.
That's right. The red eye Barbie cars. He wants more power than the red eye Barbie
That's
car.
it, the Barbie car. Well, I'll tell you what, that Barbie car scared me, I'll tell you that. Yeah,
Yeah, my car,
You're much younger than me.
Yeah. How old are you?
79.
79.
No, I wasn't talking IQ.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Ooh,
Just
that
giving you
cuts.
grief. But
That's fine.
now they're fun to drive, and if you, when it's raining, my girlfriend and I'll be out, and I take it home. It'll search for guardrail real fast because
Oh, yeah.
it just doesn't.
But there's a
hook up.
huge difference in the cars like I just reviewed.
Yeah.
that's owned by the factory. I don't
absolutely.
own it.
Right.
And I'm not going to drive it like I own it either, because I don't want to have the reputation of, oh, he wrecks press cars. Now,
Yeah,
I know
because
somebody
they
that does that.
They have
Now
a
I'm
tendency
good.
not to give you the cars after that.
Yeah, they're all good cars, and to your point earlier, everybody's an individual out here in what they're building their cars, whether it's brand new, mid-engine vent and take it in, modify the heck out of it, or it's a 1920 DeSoto.
Well, that's the great thing about this.
Yeah.
Think about how boring it would be if you came to Tailpipes and Tacos and every car out here was a Hellcat Challenger.
I know. Yeah.
I mean,
His
don't
would be
get
the
me-
fast.
there's that.
It's true.
And
You
if
know,
it
when you got-
wasn't,
Open
it'd go back
99
out
up.
to Bomberas to get some more boosts.
No,
in it.
you'd be in NASCAR where every damn car is the same and
Yeah.
they all go the same speed.
Yeah.
How much fun is that?
Yeah.
Then it turns into some sort of ego turd kind of, I'm better than
Well,
you
you put
are.
that nice. But no, you're exactly right. And a lot of the things, like Kenny's done out there and for me, for my cars and even my trucks, they've done great work. And,
They do. They do good stuff.
I know Kenny, and he does good work, and he's got the racing DNA in him.
Yeah.
Not only does he do good mechanic work for a regular car, but he knows the race car side of it as well.
True.
Yeah. So.
And he's got the whole family working there.
Oh yeah. I see.
It's a good legacy.
I see Kristen out at Houston Motorsports Park. He's got the contract out there for the wrecker service.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and the more of these racetracks that disappear, the sad part, you got a lot of people, kids, older guys, middle-aged, whatever, they have their cars. It's just going to end up on the streets.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
Well, the fun part about Houston Motorsports Park is the fact that it's still 3/8 mile, asphalt, oval. You take the kids. You don't have to worry about anything. Go there, have a good time. $1 hot dogs, $1 beer. That's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
Well, they got the drag strip right there
if that's
as well.
if that's what you want to do. Yeah.
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 So,
Well, that's exactly right. When I was growing up, I used to race motocross, and we had a supercross track built in the middle of it, and up in Montana where I grew up, and what's there now, it's
that's what's
gone.
wrong with you.
Montana.
Hey, now, it's a nice place to live.
I know. Yeah.
Nice place to be
in the
from.
summer.
In the summer, that's right. Yeah, I bet right about now it's probably high temperature today of 0.
That's if you're by a heater, yes.
Right.
Now, the coldest I remember up there was about 50 below 0, with my dad's store up there. And it was just, I got over the cold real fast. And since I've been down here, because I moved from there I was in Boise, Idaho for a while, and then came down here for work and stuff.
So you kind of eased into
get acclimated by temperatures.
Yes.
But I love the heat down here, and people think I'm crazy, but hey, you got heaters, you got air conditioners, right?
That's right.
So,
Well, it's great to talk to you. Thanks
well,
so much
I appreciate
for
you having me
stopping
on.
by.
It was a lot of fun, and listen to you guys on your podcasts and stuff.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And you guys, I think, do a great job, and again, appreciate for having me on. And
We
you
have
guys are
we
out
have
there
a
all
lot
the
of
time.
fun doing
Love
this.
your car.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And we will
Appreciate
see
it.
you next month.
Absolutely.
All right,
Thank
thanks
you
so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, I want to get a couple of headlines in before we run out of time here. GM working on a strategy to build at least one new electric vehicle inspired by its Corvette sports car, potentially expanding the brand from a single performance model into a family of vehicles. If the plan is approved, the most likely model to emerge later this decade would be a marriage of a crossover and a sports car. Look for that under the Corvette label. Well, look at what Ford is doing with the Mustang name. Adventure brand will remain a force in the U.S. as Jeep takes the starring role in Stellantis, and will make more inroads globally as a cornerstone of Stellantis with an onslaught of products designed to take Jeep upstream and into new segments as dealers increasingly spend millions of dollars to build flashy Jeep-only showrooms. Look for one in your neighborhood coming soon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and they should, because the Jeep brand is it doesn't need to be sharing a showroom with anybody else. They need to kind of stand alone.
I think that
and you're seeing them here in town. They were already building Jeep exclusive showrooms.
Yeah, I think that the Chrysler brand is probably going to go away. I think that Jeep will take over that slot on the lot if there is one. It just makes sense to me. Consumers craved familiarity and affordability when making vehicle purchase decisions during the pandemic, a new Deloitte study found. 2021 Global Automotive's Consumer Survey, released Monday, found that 74% of U.S. consumers are looking for an internal combustion engine in their next vehicle.
Yeah.
Last year's study found that 59% of U.S. consumers surveyed wanted gasoline or diesel vehicles. This year, that figure increased to 74%, showing that EV appeal declined in the minds of consumers.
As EVs are coming out more and more of the manufacturers are depending on EV sales.
Right. And the Detroit Auto Show, rescheduled because of the pandemic, has been canceled altogether for 2021. The show, slated for September in downtown Detroit, will be replaced this year by an outdoor, enthusiast-focused event at a racetrack north of Detroit in Pontiac, Michigan. GM is launching a commercial electric vehicle business called Bright Drop.
Did they not just hear the news story you just talked about the desire for EVs is going down?
And locked in Federal Express as the first customer for a delivery van later this year. The Bright Drop brand will offer electric products, software, and services. Its products will include a commercial van known as the EV600 and an electric pallet called the EP1, which allows delivery drivers to more easily transport goods from the vehicle to customers' doors through a pallet system. And CarMax is increasing its return policy on vehicles to 30 days and up to 1,500 miles for a full refund. That time frame is more than quadruple its previous 7-day return period.
Wow.
We're going to close out today's show right after a quick break. Stay with us.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, February 20th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone's invited. You will see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, February 20th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, February 20th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy, weather permitting. Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? You found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com.
Well, that's it for this episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. Hey, when you're on Facebook, please give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk. You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on Pandora, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. Special thanks to all of our guests today. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. Our Video Technical Director, Sales and Marketing Man is Jeffrey Zekin. This week's In Wheel Time Car Show is produced and directed by the head chef at the original Lupe Tortilla. For Mike Out of This World Mars, His Royalty King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Hope you'll join us on our next live show next Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time, right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Thanks for being part of the In Wheel Time family. Mask up and stay healthy, and so long for now. We'll see you next week.